Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Do you really want to be successful? Because if you do, it's not going to come from what you know, it's going to come from what you do consistently. Success is not a mystery, it's a result. It's not something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. Success is not the result of wishful thinking, it's the direct outcome of daily disciplines, of habits repeated over time with intention. Most people have desires. They want to be rich, they want to be fit, they want to be happy, but very few are willing to evaluate their habits. And that's where the disconnect happens. You cannot separate your habits from your outcomes. The results you're experiencing right now in your finances, your health, your relationships are not random. They are the fruit of seeds you've been planting every single day through your actions, your thoughts, and your routines. Think about it. If you eat unhealthy food every day, it doesn't matter how much you wish to be healthy, your body is going to respond to your habits, not your intentions. If you spend more than you earn, it doesn't matter how much you dream about becoming financially free, your bank account will respond to your behavior, not your fantasies. This is a law. It's not emotional, it's not biased, and it doesn't care how you feel. It's a principle. You reap what you sow. But here's the key. You don't just reap what you sow once. You reap what you sow daily. Habits are not one-time events. They are seeds planted on a schedule. Many people believe success is about talent or luck or timing. But the truth is, habits will beat talent when talent doesn't develop discipline. Habits will outlast luck because luck is unpredictable, but consistency creates momentum. And habits make timing irrelevant. Because when you show up every day, the right opportunities tend to find you ready. When others are waiting for a breakthrough, you're creating one through your daily commitment. You're building a life on principles, not on pressure. You don't become wealthy by chance. You become wealthy by the consistent application of sound financial habits. You don't become influential by accident. You grow influence by consistently providing value, solving problems, and showing up with integrity. Everything in your life is being shaped by what you're doing on repeat. So if you want to change the results, you've got to change the rhythm. Your routine is either your prison or your passport. It's either locking you into cycles of frustration or it's moving you step by step into the freedom you were born for. The problem is that habits are often invisible. You do them without thinking. You check your phone first thing in the morning. You scroll for 30 minutes before you even start your day. You procrastinate, telling yourself you'll do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes and nothing changes. Why? Because you're not aware that your daily habits are either aligning with your vision or opposing it. And anything that opposes your vision is not just wasting your time, it's fighting your future. If you want a different outcome, stop asking for motivation and start building structure. Build systems that support who you want to become. Want to write a book? Set a daily writing goal. Want to lose weight? Create a meal plan and stick to it. Want to earn 6 figures? Build income-producing activities into your daily calendar. Don't try to do everything at once. Just focus on one habit that moves you forward. Because once you shift one habit, you start seeing yourself as someone who wants change and start becoming someone who creates change. Success doesn't respond to your dreams, it responds to your discipline. And discipline is simply the decision to honor your future over your feelings. That decision must be made daily. When you realize your habits are not just behaviors, but spiritual contracts with your future, you begin to treat them with the seriousness they deserve. You're not just brushing your teeth or saving $1. You're forming the kind of person who shows up with excellence, with purpose, with vision. And when that becomes who you are, success isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Ooh. Whoa. Repetition is the mother of mastery. It's not what you do once that changes your life. It's what you do over and over again. Many people underestimate the power of doing small things consistently. They think they need some massive breakthrough or lightning strike moment of inspiration to create change. But the truth is, breakthrough doesn't come from one powerful act. It comes from repeated actions done with intention, even when you don't see immediate results. You can't microwave mastery. You can't shortcut transformation. It takes time, repetition, and discipline. Repetition creates rhythm, and rhythm creates results. When you do something once, you're trying it. When you do it daily, you're becoming it. This is why consistency is so powerful. It has the ability to take what is hard and make it automatic. It can take what feels impossible and make it inevitable. But only if you're willing to do it long enough. Most people quit before their efforts have time to mature. They abandon the process because they are addicted to speed instead of committed to sustainability. They want to sow today and reap tomorrow. But that's not how real growth works. Think about a farmer. He doesn't plant seeds on Monday and expect a harvest by Friday. He understands the law of process. He knows the soil must be worked. The seed must be watered. The sun must rise and set over and over again. Growth is silent. It happens underground. And just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not working. The same is true with your habits. You may be reading, praying, studying, working, saving, and not see the fruit right away. But don't stop, because repetition is developing roots. And the stronger the roots, the greater the fruit. The world celebrates outcomes, but real success is built in the unseen, in the repetitive, in the quiet. It's in waking up early when no one sees you. It's in doing the workout when no one is watching. It's in making the call when you don't feel like it. Every time you repeat the right behavior, you're telling your future that you're serious. You're telling your mind that you're not playing games. You are training your brain to recognize this new action as normal. And eventually, what once required effort becomes your new default. That's the power of repetition. There's a reason successful people often seem to have unshakable confidence. It's not because they were born with it. It's because they earned it through consistency. Every day they showed up, they built a little more belief. Every time they repeated a positive habit, they strengthened their identity. And when you repeat the right things long enough, you no longer try to be successful. You become the kind of person success follows. You no longer chase opportunities. Opportunities recognize your discipline and start chasing you. One of the biggest lies people believe is that motivation is the fuel for success. But motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unstable. You don't always feel like doing what's necessary. That's why repetition is more powerful than motivation. You can't trust your emotions to lead you. You must trust your systems. If you build a life based on emotion, you'll be up one day and down the next. But if you build it on repetition, you'll move forward even when you're not feeling it. Because repetition doesn't ask you how you feel, it reminds you who you are. Every time you repeat a positive action, you build momentum. Momentum is the force that carries you when energy runs low. It's the invisible push that comes from doing the right thing long enough. Most people are waiting to feel ready before they act, but the people who win are the ones who act repeatedly until they feel ready. Repetition creates clarity, it creates focus, it reveals what works and what doesn't. And over time, it produces the wisdom and confidence you need to elevate. So if you're tired of starting over, stop quitting. If you're tired of confusion, start repeating clarity, building actions. Read the same books, speak the same affirmations, practice the same skills, focus on the few things that move you forward, and do them daily, because repetition isn't boring. It's the pathway to brilliance. And when you stay on the path long enough, the life you once dreamed about becomes the life you wake up to every day. Your environment has a language. It speaks to you without saying a word. The people you spend time with, the spaces you live and work in, the energy you're surrounded by, all of it is shaping your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your results. Most people don't realize that their surroundings are either pushing them forward or pulling them backward. You can have the right goals, the right intentions, even the right work ethic. But if your environment contradicts your vision, you'll always be fighting uphill. You don't rise to the level of your desire, you fall to the level of your environment. This is why changing your habits without changing your environment rarely works. If you want to wake up early, but everyone in your house stays up until 2 a.m., you'll struggle to stay consistent. If you're trying to grow a business, but your circle of friends laughs at your ambition, eventually you'll shrink your vision. Your environment should match your destiny, not your comfort zone. Because your comfort zone will keep you stagnant. But your destiny will demand growth. Look around you. What's on your walls? What's on your calendar? Who's in your phone? What voices are you listening to? Are they reminding you of your past or pushing you toward your potential? Because everything around you is either reinforcing your habits or resisting them. If your goal is to be healthy, then your kitchen should support that. If your goal is to become a high earner, then your conversations should reflect that. You can't keep hanging out in broke circles and expect wealthy thinking to grow. It doesn't work like that. Iron sharpens iron. And if no one around you is sharp, you'll stay dull, no matter how hard you try. The truth is, your environment is a mirror of what you tolerate. If your space is cluttered, it's because you've accepted chaos. If your schedule is always packed with distractions, it's because you've allowed disorder. If your relationships are draining, it's because you've given access to the wrong people. It's not judgment, it's awareness. And when you become aware, you gain power. You realize that success is not just about changing your mindset, it's about aligning your surroundings with your mindset. Because the right environment makes the right behavior easier to repeat. You don't need more motivation, you need more alignment. When your goals, habits, and environment all agree, momentum becomes natural. Progress feels less forced. You stop trying to force success and start flowing with it. That's the gift of being in the right space. You don't have to fight so hard. But when your environment is off, even the right habits feel heavy. That's when procrastination grows. That's when discouragement sets in. That's when your habits lose power because they're planted in the wrong soil. Every seed has potential, but potential is useless if the soil is wrong. You can have the most disciplined mindset, but if your environment is toxic, it will choke your growth. You need to be around voices that speak life, spaces that inspire action, and systems that reinforce success. That means making hard decisions. It might mean redesigning your workspace. It might mean moving in silence for a season so you can build in peace. But whatever it takes, protect your environment because your future is being formed by it every day. You don't get the life you dream about, you get the life you design. And design includes everything, your habits, your routines, your surroundings. If you want to level up, change your atmosphere. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Create the conditions where greatness can grow. Build a room where the future version of you would feel at home. Because once your environment matches your vision, your habits gain strength. And when your habits are strong, your success becomes inevitable. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. Everyone wants success. Everyone dreams of becoming more, having more, doing more. But very few are willing to embrace the uncomfortable, the inconvenient, and the demanding process that leads there. That process is called discipline. It's the ability to say yes to what you need and no to what you want in the moment. Discipline doesn't ask for your emotions, it demands your decision. It doesn't require you to feel like it, it requires you to act like it. Because without discipline, even the best intentions die in distraction. The problem is, people confuse discipline with punishment. They think discipline is restriction, but in reality, discipline is freedom. The more disciplined you are, the more control you gain over your life. Without it, you become a slave to your impulses, controlled by every emotion, tossed by every temptation, delayed by every excuse. Discipline gives you structure, and structure doesn't limit your potential, it protects it. You can't build anything worthwhile on chaos. You need a framework, a system, a standard. Discipline provides that. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about how fast you get there. It's about how consistent you are along the way. The difference between winners and wishers is not talent, it's not luck. It's the daily decision to keep showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching. That's where greatness is forged. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows of discipline. There's a reason why so many people start strong but finish weak. It's not because they didn't want it. It's because they didn't commit to the habits that produce it. They got inspired but not instructed. They were motivated but not managed. That's why discipline matters. It keeps you focused when feelings fade. It anchors you when circumstances shake. Without it, you become reactive, bouncing between highs and lows, always busy, but rarely productive. With it, you become proactive, intentional, strategic, and relentless. If you want to change your life, you must first change your standards. Raise the bar on what you tolerate from yourself. Stop negotiating with laziness. Stop making deals with mediocrity. You don't need more time, you need more self-control. Time isn't the issue, discipline is. Because when you're disciplined, you use time as a tool, not an excuse. You manage your energy, you manage your mind, you manage your moment. And when you manage those, Success becomes a byproduct, not just a goal. Understand this, discipline is not natural, it's trained. No one wakes up disciplined, they become disciplined through practice. You must train your focus, train your follow through, train your thinking to align with your doing. That's why the small decisions matter. What time you wake up, what you consume, how you speak, how you respond. These are the small hinges that swing big doors. And when you master the small, the big becomes automatic. The key is repetition with intention. Discipline is a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. The most dangerous thing is to rely on motivation. Motivation is a mood. It's inconsistent. It's emotional. Discipline is a decision. It doesn't need to feel good. It just needs to be done. When you live by discipline, you don't wait to be ready. You move because it's necessary. You act because it's right. You perform because it's time. This is how winners are made. They do it when it's hard. They do it when it's boring. They do it when it's uncomfortable. And eventually, it becomes their edge. Success is not a mystery. It's a method. And discipline is the foundation of that method. If you want to win, you must become someone who can be trusted with consistency. Someone who can delay gratification. Someone who can lead themselves before leading others. Because when you master discipline, you no longer chase success, you attract it. You don't beg for opportunities. You're prepared when they come. You don't just talk about the life you want, you build it. One disciplined day at a time. Results don't lie. They don't care about your excuses, your emotions, or your circumstances. Results reflect your habits. If your life is not where you want it to be, it's not because of a lack of opportunity. It's because of the repeated actions you've been taking over time. Habits are the silent architects of your destiny. You can't hide behind theory when the evidence of your habits shows up in your finances, your health, your relationships, and your mindset. You can talk success all day long, but the truth is, your results reveal what you've actually been doing. You become what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally feel inspired to do. That's why so many people stay stuck in cycles. They read the books, listen to the podcasts, watch the motivational videos, but their habits haven't changed. They feel better for a moment, but they don't do better long term. And that's because they haven't built systems. They're operating on hope instead of structure. Hope is not a strategy, discipline is. Routine is, accountability is. If you want to change your life, you don't need more inspiration, you need better implementation. Look at any area of your life where you're not getting the result you desire, and you'll find a habit that's misaligned. Whether it's spending instead of saving, scrolling instead of studying, reacting instead of responding, it all comes down to patterns. Patterns produce outcomes. You can't pray for transformation and keep participating in self-sabotage. There's a price for success, and habits are how you pay it daily. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your disciplines. Most people blame external factors for internal failures, but the truth is, your habits are within your control. You don't need a perfect situation. You need a powerful system. Start small, stay consistent, and stack wins. If you win the morning, you'll start winning the day. If you dominate your daily routine, you'll start reshaping your life. But it has to be intentional. Success doesn't show up by accident. It's attracted to systems. And systems are built on repeated, disciplined behaviors over time. There's a myth that successful people have some special talent that others don't. But in reality, what they have is a habit of doing the hard things whether they feel like it or not. They don't leave their results up to chance. They build processes that lead to progress. And those processes are driven by standards. They set a standard and then create habits that support that standard. You can't want to be wealthy and have broke habits. You can't want to be healthy and have lazy routines. Your habits have to agree with your goals. One of the most powerful realizations is understanding that habits work for you or against you, but they always work. If you consistently show up late, make excuses, or avoid discomfort, those habits are silently writing your future. But if you build the habit of showing up early, thinking strategically, and taking ownership, those habits are elevating your life without you even noticing. It's not always about big breakthroughs. It's about small, consistent actions stacked on top of each other until they turn into momentum. And once you've got momentum, the results come faster. But here's the key. You must track your results, not just your efforts. Many people confuse being busy